Hi everyone, welcome to the IT Global Direction. I am your host, Rorisang Hlahatsi-Baloyi. Quick question before I go forward. Have you appointed a cybersecurity specialist at home today? You haven't? Is it because you don't mind losing your personal data from home? Or you don't save personal data on your personal machine at home? Or you do? Well, we had an amazing conversation with Kevin, who gave us very amazing, brilliant ideas on how we can keep ourselves secured from our homes. He also highlighted some of the key things that organizations need to do to ensure that they're secured. Please stay tuned. Don't forget to stay secured. Appoint someone, uncle, your daughter. Someone must be responsible to making sure that your family is secured. Enjoy. Hi, Kevin. Welcome to the IT Global Direction. My name is Rorisang Hlahatsi-Baloyi. And Kevin, please introduce yourself to our podcast viewers. Who are you? Where are you in the world today? And what is the hot topic for today?
Good morning, Rorisang. Good to be with you. My name is Kevin Francis. I'm coming to you from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And today's hot topic is cybersecurity hygiene for businesses and individuals.
Interesting topic. What is cybersecurity? Just for our viewers that don't know what that is.
Well, the basic fundamentals of cybersecurity are confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So those are the three tenets of cybersecurity. And we should be applying those when it comes to our personal devices, our home networks, and also corporations. So corporations have a big responsibility. Sometimes it's a part of the IT department. Other times it is part of the broader or a department unto itself. And as we move forward in today's day and age, they become more and more important with the constant threats that are out there from cyber actors. So, yeah.
Okay, sounds interesting. So I'll look at it from two lenses. You mentioned that we need to look at it from our corporations organization perspective, as well as individuals or in our homes. Can we start with organizations? What should organizations do to make sure that they're secured?
Okay. So I think a very important aspect of cybersecurity is identity and access management. Active Directory has been with us for approximately 25 years now. And generally, it is the fundamental utility for maintaining and managing access of individuals to corporate assets, applications, and things of that nature. So I believe it is fundamental in terms of managing that those users and what they have access to, what they can create, where they can copy it to, just to maintain the security of the information and the assets within the organization. Within, I don't want to, lean towards a particular product, but Microsoft Azure has role-based access control. So policies can be set, groups can be set up where individuals within certain groups have access to certain assets and resources within the organization or within the cloud. And that will help manage who has access to what and what they can do. That's very important because you don't want to give an administrator access to budget files and information that would be managed or reviewed by a CFO. They don't need that access. So limit it to the individual's job function and role, and don't give them anything additional. That will reduce your risk.
And Kevin, you mentioned there are technologies out there that can support organizations to be more secured. Is it a pure technology capability that we need to embed in our businesses, or there's some activities that individuals within organization needs to also do to make sure that we're secured?
Yeah. I would say it's not purely technological, but technology does play a big factor.
Mm,
Obviously, in our modern work environment, everything we do, or the vast majority of things we do, are online.
mm,
Everything is, people are working from home now. So yeah, so definitely not all technological related,
mm,
but we should also make sure that the applications that we're using are updated.
yeah,
Don't write down passwords on sticky notes and leave them on your desk.
yeah,
Technology, I don't think, well, technology can help you there because there are password applications to manage your passwords, but that is a physical thing that somebody could do. Building access is also a part of security. Technology, again, plays a role in that, but physical
mm,
security is locks on doors, key card readers, and things of that nature. So, yeah.
mm. Okay. And with these technologies, like you mentioned, Azure gives you the capability for you to do some of the cybersecurity or protection capabilities within Azure. Does it mean if we are taking a technology like Azure or any other security technologies internally as organizations, we don't need to do anything? Would Microsoft be the one who's introducing those capabilities to us and we just sit back? Or there's something that an organization, once you acquire the technology, you need to do in order for you to embed the technology in the organization?
Yeah, I would say, one of the things that organizations should be doing is developing their policies internally.
Mm,
So laws within the organization that govern how information is shared, who
mm,
has access to it, what devices can be brought onto the network, things of that nature, right?
mm,
Um, Also, when it comes to technology, it's great to have technology, but it also has to be utilized in the right manner. It's
mm,
sort of like having a toolbox full of tools, but never actually using them.
mm.
I know a lot of organizations deploy tools, and more tools, more tools, more tools.
Yeah.
But if you're not using those tools, what's the point in having them, right? I know
Mm,
it makes individuals feel good saying, oh, we got endpoint detection, we've got a SEM, we've got a SOAR. But
mm,
if nobody is looking at those logs and taking action on those logs, those tools are pretty much useless.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then with these emerging technologies that we see, are there any security consideration that organizations should look at? Because the assumption is that the more we move or the more we adopt these new technologies, the more they should come secured because security needs to be considered. But is that the case, or there are things we need to do as we adopt these new emerging technologies?
Yeah. I don't think we should give carte blanche, um, or subscribe to the fact that everything is secure out of the box.
Mm,
There's definitely hardening that needs to go on with applications. And in terms of artificial intelligence can gather a lot of information. So you want to be sure that the information that you are utilizing to inform its, I guess, creative process or
mm,
generative information, language, that sort of thing,
mm.
that information is not something that you want in the public sphere.
Yeah,
So Microsoft makes claims that the information that would be generated would stay within your domain. I don't know how true that is. I have no information um, to support that or deny that claim, but I would err on the side of caution when it comes
yeah,
to those sorts of things. And again, when it comes to software development, security should be built into the process and not an afterthought, not something that you do after the fact. But as you're developing, one of the first steps should be, how do we secure this application? How do we protect the information that it is going to be gathering? And how do we make sure that information doesn't fall into the wrong hands?
All right, I like the sound of that. It's very important that we just keep secured and not 100% rely on whoever, wherever we get in those technologies from. And then just to move now to the second part, which is as an individual or at home, what security considerations should we have?
Yeah. So definitely upgrading your applications that you use on a regular basis. Every time you go into Google or Microsoft Edge or Firefox, make sure you're updating the current version of that tool. They patch them quite regularly, and within a week's time, you may see 2 or 3 patches, at least 1, maybe 2, when it comes to applications like Google Chrome. So my suggestion is make sure you're running the latest and greatest. There are new vulnerabilities that are discovered on a daily basis, and threat actors will take advantage of those. So update your applications. Make sure your iOS software is up to date on your phone. Do the same thing for your PCs and your Macs. And run a antivirus or endpoint protection software on your devices. There's numerous of them out there. Choose the one that's best for you and you think has the best ratings. Also, when it comes to your phones, the moment you download them, turn off all the features that you feel are unnecessary. When it comes to applications such as I don't know, the weather service. Why do they need access to my contacts? Turn that off. Why do they need access to my pictures? Maybe if you want to share pictures with them, or you could do it on an individual basis. GPS, unless you're lost, I don't see any reason to turn it on. And tracking. I believe within the iOS platform, there is a setting where you can share your information with other individuals. Personally, my business is my business. I'm not getting paid by these organizations on the information that they gather on me to share with other individuals and profit off of it. I turn that type of thing off. So, only enable the services that are required to use the application. You want to share photos or things of that nature, but I'm not sure why an application like Maps or anything like that would need access to my personal contacts.
And as an individual, Kevin, I would ask myself, if I don't do all the things that you just mentioned now, what could possibly go wrong? So if they know my location or they have access to my contacts or any of that, what could possibly go wrong from an individual perspective?
Well, I don't know. The possibilities are endless, but again, it comes down to every one of those parameters or settings that you open up potentially expose you and your device to loopholes in the software or areas where individuals might be able to gain access to additional information. Perhaps these vulnerabilities have not fully been fleshed out and exploited yet, but over time they may become. So if it's not needed, my suggestion is to shut it down, turn it off, don't use it.
And then my last question, Kevin, just to wrap up. If I'm downloading an app like you mentioned, and there are T's and C's that I need to agree or disagree to, or also give access to certain things like my contacts, pictures, etc. If I say, I do not allow this app to access that information. So I select a button or radio button or whatever the case is. How sure can I be that that app is not actually going to access my information?
Well, from a legal perspective, at least you have stated that. What happens in the software would be up to a forensics investigator to determine where the information went and what information has been gathered. There have been cases where individuals have declined to provide their phone number, their IP address, things like that, turn that off, but that information was still leaked out of the device via that application. So there's no guarantee whatsoever. Outside of it making us feel better and having stated our intention for our data to the application provider, we don't know whether they will do the right thing or not, right? We just have to have faith and hope that they do the right thing. But there's no guarantee that that will actually happen.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kevin, for joining us today on the IT Global Direction. I'll try and summarize everything you said today. So we looked at two perspectives, from a corporate level perspective and individual level perspective. For cybersecurity, you mentioned that there are technologies out there that can assist organizations to make sure that they're more secured and they're able to take stock of what they have within the organization. And on the individual side, you also indicated that there's some precautions that people need to make sure that they look at, they make sure that their applications are up to date. They need to make sure that they don't accept things that they don't agree on, like T's and C's that you'd find within applications. And I think at that level, we can never be sure if whether we accept or decline those T's and C's. That's what will actually happen. I think from what you said, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you can never be 100% secured, but you just need to make sure that on your side, you do your utmost best to be secured. So I think in summary, that's what I got from my conversation today. Just let me know if I missed out anything that was critical that we discussed today.
No, I would say that that is absolutely correct, Rorisang. Thank you for summarizing that. I might add one other comment, and that is people talk about their carbon footprint. I've coined a term myself, the cyber footprint. So cyber footprint is all of those tools and applications and websites that you have shared your information with that are out there on the internet. And my perspective is to keep that footprint as small as possible. We live in a completely connected age where information can stay on servers forever. We don't know what the practices are of those organizations that we share our information with. Excuse me. They should only be collecting information on us based on what we've consented to, and collecting it based on for the sole purpose that it was collected for, right? Not for marketing and things like that, but it does happen. So when it comes to a footprint, a cyber footprint, it's very similar to attack surface. So the broader the attack surface, the larger the attack surface, the more likelihood that you could potentially become a victim of cyber actors. So it's sort of like a target on a I don't know, just a target. You know, you have that small little dot in the center, and then you have the bigger, broader circles outside. I like to try and be that bullseye when it comes to information out there in the world. So
yeah, I totally agree with you, because the more you expand your footprint, the more you become more and more vulnerable, because sometimes you don't even have control of whoever else you've shared your data with. So I totally agree. Thank you so much once again. I think we've learned a lot from you today. Feel free to come back and tell us more about what's happening in the cybersecurity world.
All right. Thank you very much for saying. It was a pleasure being with you.
Awesome. Thanks.
Take care.